Hello and welcome to The Hero Spouse. I'm Kendra Ruth, here to answer one of your questions about marriage and midlife crisis. Today we have an anonymous female left behind and forward-moving spouse with a bomb drop of June 1st, 2022 and a date of marriage of 2014. She has an at-home MLCer who is a low-energy wallower. She says it's been 3 years since bomb drop. He was involved with a coworker. It started out as an emotional affair, and then I assume that it might have turned physical. After a year, the alienator dumped him. He was in a full depression and asked for a divorce. I said that I'm not filing, and he didn't either. Fast forward to the beginning of this year. He has reconnected with family and friends. He seems happy. He's happy. And he's back to his regular hobbies. But he is the same with me. Cold and distant. We've seen this before. This is not uncommon. When I hug him, he flinches, and I asked, "Why do you do that?" He said, "I don't know." He said he didn't mind if I moved out and got on with my life, as long as I don't move far away so he can see the kids. Do I have hope that he'll change towards me? Should I move out to put a little distance between us? So, as I said, this is not uncommon. First thing, they reconnect with the spouse last. So, is he doing that? Is he going to continue to reconnect? Kind of in a reverse. They reconnect often. They disconnect with the spouse last, and they reconnect with the spouse last. So is that what's going to happen, and does it just take more time? At this point, that's what I would do, is I would continue to give it more time because he's depressed. I think that you said he's seeing a counselor, but I'm not sure because I know the next one does say that. So, right now, he's still feeling depressed. What that means is his feelings are still numb. And when your feelings are numb, you don't know that you have them. You probably can't even imagine having them. And that means they're for you. The feelings for you are numb, and you don't think they exist anymore. So he flinches when you hug him because it's uncomfortable. He doesn't feel that way. And he hurt you. And why do I want to? I don't feel that way for you. And she's touching me, and this I don't want that. You're invading my intimate space, type of thing. Maybe you're the mother of my children, and sometimes we get this thing about the mother of my children, like, ew, you're a mother. Various things go on, and he might need to process that kind of thing in therapy. There are other things he might need to process in therapy. And is he willing to do that yet? That might be individual therapy. Is he also willing to, or is he willing to go to marriage counseling together? But he may not be ready for that because he might just come out as like, yeah, I'm just not interested in working on it. Therefore, why are we here? And because I'm not interested in working on it, I'm not going to work on it. Because there's a difference between not being interested and not going to. You can be not interested in working on it and like, I will work on it, but I really don't want to, but I'll do it. That is something. Being willing to do it, even though like, well, I don't know, but I'll try. Being willing to try is something. So where is he in that? He's really at the point though where it's like, you can stay or go. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to see my kids. But part of that is the depression. And I want to ask you there, where are you? What do you want? If you are at that place where you feel that way, then you could do the go. But I don't think you are because you're asking the questions. You want to be in your marriage. You still want him to come through this. You are standing for your marriage. You're hoping that you can have a reconnection. You're hoping that your spouse will come through his depression and you'll be there for him, and that he will be grateful that you are there for him. Not like, oh, thank God, and groveling grateful, but like so glad and so thankful and so relieved that you were there for him. Grateful in the relieved manner, like, oh my goodness, I could have lost everything. I'm so glad she's still here. I almost lost it. That's what you want, isn't it? If that's what you want, don't leave. Now, I cannot promise you what's going to happen, but give it more time. And that doesn't mean give it more time and do nothing. Give it more time, and don't necessarily give him hugs. But what else? But what can you give him? You give him grace. You be there for him. But are there things that he does accept? Does he accept a touch on the shoulder? Does he accept a light massage? It looks like, you're feeling tense. Does he accept those things from you? That you could, not a foot rub, like, oh, can I rub your feet, like you're some sort of servant? Not in that manner. Unless he really has feet problems. That's different, but I don't want you kneeling at him. But things that you can offer him that are relief and are gentle and that are grace. What can you do that are still touch, but don't feel like they are so intimate that he thinks you're trying to be sensual or sexual, that you are trying to invade him? So hugs seem to be a little too much for him. Kisses, even the goodbye kiss, probably seems to be too much for him, because he's like, oh, what are you doing with that? Where's this going? So, but maybe that, hey, you know what? A pat on the shoulder, just a reassuring, it's okay, here's your coat, and, like, let's say somebody had an injured arm, and I'll help you on with your coat type of thing. It's okay, I'm right here for you. Those reassurances where we still have to touch the person gently. That's what I'm wondering, and he may or may not. What can you do for him where it doesn't feel like you're going overboard with service and trying to ingratiate yourself to him? Because I don't want that. Where you're looking like a doormat. Where two of you are looking like you're trying to put up appearances for everybody. Like the happy couple when you're not. Because I don't want him to have to feel like that all the time. But that you are still there for him. What can you do? And this is without asking him. Because he's not there yet. But you are his wife, and you are there to help him when he doesn't feel well. And that's well here. And he may not recognize that he's depressed. Does he ever want to talk? Does he talk to you at all? Does the only thing that he does, is it only flinching physically? Does he flinch from speaking? So think about that. Where is his speaking to you? He's still cold to you. What does that mean? What other kind of communication walls does he have with you? And where are their ends? Think about the one little place. Is there one place, one thing in the day, in the week, where there was a slight opening? Just one success, and build on that one success, and then build on that, and build on it, and then find another one. And we're going to build on those tiny, even the tiniest little successes. But I don't want you to move away, because sure, there is hope. he changed already, right? You were married to him, you had a marriage, and then he changed on that, right? And he wanted the bomb drop. He had an affair. And then he wanted the divorce. And then he started to reconnect with other people except you. He changed again. So why wouldn't he continue to change? He's still changing. He's still transitioning. And we need to let him figure it out. And so some of that is giving him space, so we're not going to hover around him. And we'll give him the space to figure these things out. But if there was one opening where he did let you in, that's the opening. And you don't go in and laser at him because we're giving him space. But that one place where he lets you in, maybe it's coffee in the morning, or maybe it's just that he appreciates it if you get him coffee in the morning and make it. Thank you. That's the one thing you do for him. Maybe. I don't know what it is. But find that one thing if you've noticed and focus on it a little bit. If there's something he appreciates. So I would not leave. You want to put the distance in the giving him space, but that doesn't mean you have to give more of it if you're already doing it. And what I want to say right now, just to reassure you, is this is normal. What he's doing is normal because this is how it works out. It's been 3 years, and so he's on course. I know it sucks. And at-home MLCers, it's not that they are slower or not slower, because it's only been 3 years. I know that sounds terrible, only, when MLC is 3 to upwards of 7. But with an at-home MLCer, you're constantly with them. And with a low energy, it just, everything feels like it's barely moving, and you get to see all of this barely moving. And you can't tell, and they don't communicate it with you. Is he going to change? And then the next day, and the next day. And he might not say it one day, and he might start to change, and he might start to change and feel differently, and he might not even communicate that with you. And you're just going to have to work on going out and finding your joy and being that joy and trying to reflect that joy and helping him have the space and seeing you be joy. And can your joy also be a guide for him? Maybe, maybe not. But do both of those things. Let your joy be a reflection. See if it can reflect back. And give him the space he needs. Find the openings. And work on your children. Just keep living your life. And you might come to a place where things haven't changed enough for you. And where you're ready for something different. And if you do, then that's when you change your mind and say, okay, you know what? I'm ready. And then I would not do the move out. The person who wants out gets out. And when it comes to that, I don't want you to say you're the person who wants out. He started it. At that point, you have children together, right? Then you need to say, you know what? You talked earlier about wanting out of this relationship. I think it's time. Maybe you found a place. Talk to him about finding a place. You have the kids. Who's the main caregiver? Maybe he is. Does he stay at home with the kids? Who works more? Do both of you balance that 50-50? Who gives more care for the kids? Who do the kids rely on more? That person should be the one that stays home with them. That stays in the house, I mean. So I want you to think about that. Who do you think the kids would expect to stay if somebody were to move? Think about that. Who is going to do a better job as well with if they do, okay? Think about all of those things. And if you were to move out of the house, what would the dynamics of caring for the children be? Who would you be back and forth? How would that work? Would he? How is it going to work? Would it be easier? Nothing's going to be easy that way. Would it be easier if he were out and he were coming back and forth? So you have a lot to think about on who should be the one to leave in that manner also. Because I would not be considering you being the one to get a new place. So right now, no. But more to think about in the future if you did make that decision. Okay? So right now, you're going to work on yourself. You're going to hold that hope. Okay? It's there. But I don't want you to think about it. I don't want you to focus on the hope. Put the hope up on a shelf. And work on yourself and give him space. And work on your life. And choose joy. Light yourself up with joy so that you can be something that is an attractive force that can inspire him. And he'll look at it and go, wow, that is interesting. That is interesting. You know, I would like a life like that. Okay? So, for all of you, be the mirror. And I hope that helps. And I will see everybody in the next